Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I've been meaning to do this for the longest time, but I don't have the courage. Well, I didn't have the courage, so now this year is all about getting out of my comfort zone, so I'm doing it now. So let's do a get to know me video. Thing first, my name is Fatou. My name is Fatou Conde. My maiden name is Fatou Conde. Conde is my last name. And my married name is fatouseghir. I did take my husband's last name when we got married, which is not very common where I come from, but you know, it was a personal choice of mine and I made it. Yo, I was gonna fake it and act like I was just talking, but in reality, I have notes on my phone, so I'm just gonna go from that. All right, so the next thing is I was born and raised in Guinea Conakry. Oh my God, this thing is done. And it's like, I didn't want it to finish. I was born and raised in Guinea Conakry, where I lived until I turned 19, and then I moved to the US with my mom. I am a Mandingo woman, which is one of the tribes in my country. I love the fact that I'm a Mandingo woman. I take a lot of pride in being a Mandingo woman. I like to say it every time I get a chance to. When I moved to the US, we lived in New York City, and that's where I stayed for the majority of the time that I lived in the US. I'm currently 33, about to be 34 next month. I don't know how that happened. I don't know when that happened. I'm not even claiming it, okay? I'm still 17 at heart. So, you know, age is nothing but a number. When I moved to the US, I didn't have my paperwork in terms of like green card and stuff like that. Like, it took me a while to get my papers, which was about 2 years. I did have a work permit, but you know, to get my it took me 2 years to get my green card. So I didn't start going to college until I was 21. And I feel like it kind of ruined the college experience for me because I was a freshman with people who were like 17, 18 years old. And I was definitely the odd one in there. And I feel like going to college at 21 kind of like ruined the college experience for me because I got there. The kids that were in my classes were like 17, 18, 19 for the most part. And I feel like that kind of ruined the experience for me a little bit because I was always like a very mature person. I kind of was forced to grow up quick because of life circumstances. So by the time I was in college, I was very mature and I kind of didn't like allow myself to live that experience with the kids because I thought like these are kids, you know what I mean? So for me, it was just like I went to college as a school and I didn't really experience anything else when I was there. So I don't know. That is something that I definitely regret today because I feel like you only do those experiences once. And I was 21 and I was feeling so old at the time. Meanwhile, now I'm thinking, I'm like, you were young. You could have just lived it up. Like, especially I feel like I would have been able to blend in because I was always told that I had a baby face. What do you think? Yeah, so I feel like I could have easily blended in, but I didn't because I was like, these are kids. Like, and honestly, we didn't have the same problems at the time. Me and those kids did not have the same problem. Like, you know how like 19-year-olds used to be at the time. I went to college for 4 years. I graduated with the degree in finance. And after graduation, your girl decided to get married. I got married at 26 years old and I moved back home to Guinea to go live with my husband. And he was the love of my life. Like, we dated on and off for about 9 years, I believe, because I met him when I was 17 and we got married when I was 26. So yeah, when we got married the year I graduated from college. So at the time I moved back to Guinea to be with him, it was great until I couldn't find a job. So I stayed in Guinea for about a year and could not find a job whatsoever. And I feel like in life everything is meant to happen the way it's supposed to happen, because technically back home after you graduate from overseas, it's supposed to be really easy to find a job. But I didn't find a job at the time. I tried for a year, did an internship that, oh my God, that year was one of the hardest years of my life in terms of like conditions. So yeah, that year was really hard on me, and it was a very humbling time. And I felt like it was necessary for me to go through that because it kind of shaped me moving forward. So yeah, I always digress. Like I can never focus on one topic and one topic and just go on a straight line. Well, that's another thing about me to know. I'm always gonna digress when I'm talking about things. Yeah, so I got married and moved to Guinea, lived there for about a year. It didn't work out for me job wise, so my husband and I decided that I will move back to the US and file for him to come, which I did. I moved back here and eventually he joined me. We lived in New York for about 2 years after that. 2 or 3, no, yeah, I would say 2 years after that. And when we lived in New York, the whole time I was there, I was like trying to conceive. I loved kids. I always loved children. I was like the second mother to all my friends' kids because, you know, who doesn't like children? Well, me now. I loved children until I had one. That's what I like to say. But I always wanted to be a mom because I don't know, I just loved it. And when my husband moved to here, even before he moved here, when I was in Guinea, I don't know, I feel like I was delusional at the time, to be honest, because who tries to conceive when they're going through like, you know, such a hard time or whatever? But I did. I tried. But it didn't work out. Like I was not able to get pregnant, and then when he moved here, we kept trying and it wasn't working out. So I decided that I was going to seek medical intervention, and I'm glad I did because I ended up having to do IVF to have my son. And now we have a beautiful 4-year-old baby boy. If you've been following my channel, you probably have seen him. His name is Ayan. But yeah, my motherhood journey was one of the hardest thing I have ever done in my life. I don't like, that would have to be like a whole separate video on its own because, you know, it was not easy. So yeah, after we had our son, he was probably 4 months old when we decided to move out of New York and move to Delaware because, yeah, we all know, like, New York is super expensive and we kind of wanted a certain lifestyle for him. We wanted him to grow up in a certain type of neighborhood with, you know, certain things that we would not necessarily be able to afford in New York. And I feel like Delaware was like a really nice little middle ground because it's only 2 hours away from New York, 2 hours from DC. It's like very nicely like centered or located, conveniently located or whatever. So yeah, we moved to Delaware, and I will say maybe a year and a half or 2 years later, we bought this home that we live in today. When we bought the house, it was like a very old school, and it had like very, you know, like all the original things that were in the house when it was first built. So I had a lot of fun remodeling it and renovating it. Yeah, renovating and decorating or whatever. I'm still working on everything else that I need to do, but it was such a big financial burden. Not burden, but it was a big financial stress. I don't know. Anyway, it was a lot of money is what I'm trying to say in a, a cute way. But it was a lot of money, so I kind of had to like take a step back and enjoy other things in life other than the thrill of being a homeowner, because I feel like I did too much in too little time, and it was a lot. So I'm gonna be here for a while. So I told myself like I'm gonna be here for a while. So take your time and do things the way you wanna do them, because you know, sometimes even like you feel like you want this and then you realize no, like that's not what you wanted, and or you find better things. So take it, definitely an advice for anybody who wants to buy a home and renovate it. I would say take your time with things, because you're gonna be there for a while. According to your mortgage, you're gonna be there for at least 30 years. So yeah, definitely take your time, no rush. Do the bare minimum and then go do everything else along the way, because burnout is real. So I was burnt and I decided I haven't done anything to my house. Okay, I'm lying. I did do things to it last year, but in the beginning of the year, because after that, like I think it's been at least 6 to 7 months where I haven't done anything to my house, not even buy like a piece of decoration. So I needed that time off from doing all of that, so I'm glad I did. And what else? Let me see what else I want to talk about. I needed to talk about here. Oh, so I'm a hairstylist. I don't work in finance. I don't use my degree. I could have not went to school and it probably would not have made a difference, which I don't regret going to college, because I feel like it's one of those things. I mean, your degree don't expire, right? But at the same time as well, like if you have a few years out of the workforce, you probably, anyway, I'm not gonna go there because hopefully my business continues to thrive and I never have to use my degree again. But I'm glad I went to college, because there are things in life that you know, I feel like there are things in life that are a rite of passage. So I'm glad I went to college, and I feel like the way I run my business as well is, if I didn't go to college, I probably would not have run it that way. So I don't regret going to college. I don't regret going to college. I just regret not starting this career sooner, because after college I did try the job market and corporate was definitely not for me. So what was I talking about? Oh my god. Yeah, so I'm currently a hairstylist and I work out of my basement. I turned my basement into like a hair studio. I'm using the One Size Beauty setting powder for the first time. I've seen so many great things about this online on TikTok actually. So I got this from the TikTok shop and I'm excited to try it. Ooh, look at that. I like that you can close this part, because you know, the other powders just kind of spill. I just spilled one the other day as well. So hello. Hmm? Mommy, I'm filming. Malo. Ivo. Alright, that was my mom. She's upset that somebody disconnected her phone from my car, and you know, the person acted like she went to, I don't know. Anyway, drama. So I run my business out of my basement. I have like a little hair studio there, and I love it. I love working for myself. I love what I do. like seeing different clients every day is very stimulating to me, and it's very I feel fulfilled. I feel happy doing what I do. And content creation is definitely something that I want to like do more of. Like if I could right now, I'll be doing both. Like I'll be doing braiding part-time and content creation full-time. That is my long-term goal, which easily brings us to the next thing that I want to talk about. I did a little Q&A on Instagram, and these are some of the questions that I got. Like somebody told me to talk about my goals. So I don't like to have like long-term goals because you know, there's something about me that like I don't have a favorite color. I don't have a favorite food. I don't have a favorite music. I don't have a favorite nothing. I just know what I like, and you know, it is what it is. Like I like multiple things, and depending on how I feel, I want different things as well. So for that reason, I don't do like long-term goals. The only long-term goal that I have, and that will probably never change, is peace and happiness, and a little bit of money if that comes with it. But you know, that's as long as I'm happy, as long as I have peace, as long as I'm healthy, I'm good. So that's the only like long-term and forever goal that I have. So I always set myself like yearly goals that will lean towards like bigger goals later on. So like one of my bigger goals is to be a part-time braider and a full-time content creator. And this year I will be taking steps. My goal this year is me taking steps to get there. So that looks like me just focusing on creating more content and not worrying about gaining or losing subscribers or followers. Also not worry about looking cringy. If I film it, I'm gonna post it no matter what. You know what I mean? As long as it's on brand, which I feel like everything that I do is always on brand because I'm the brand, and if I do it, I feel comfortable doing it and I'm okay with it. If I film it, I'm gonna post it no matter how cringy I feel like I look, because at the end of the day, I want to get more, like I want to be comfortable more. And I feel like with anything in life, the more you do it, the more comfortable you get at it. Like for example, last year I hated doing voiceover videos. I hated, not only I hated it, I was terrible at it. I was terrible, and I was always like, I would have anxiety every time I feel like I had to do a voiceover video. So I kind of just started doing more of it, and now it's my favorite type of videos to make. And every time I make them for TikTok, they literally like go, you know, I'm not gonna say go viral, but you know, they go viral. And yeah, so this year I'm gonna be filming more. I'm gonna be talking more to the camera, and you know, hopefully eventually I'll get to the point where I'm like very comfortable with that as well. And what else? My other goal this year is health, my health, which is physical health, mental health, like just like wellness in general is what I'm working on this year. And I don't want to do too much. I just want to stay put, so I'm comfortable with myself. I am happy with myself, and I'm, you know what I mean, like all around grounded basically. So that's my biggest goal this year. And yeah, and I feel like it's such a big goal for me because I've been getting by for so long that getting by has become my default. So for that reason, I feel like that is, you know, one of the biggest and one of the most important goal that I've ever had. So I'm gonna focus all my energy on that in 2025, and then who knows what 2026 has in store for us, you know. Yeah, so I'm not gonna like stress myself too much this year. And in terms of career, It is what it is. Opportunities will come. If they're yours, they will not. If they're not, I'm not gonna stress over it. It is what it is. So and one of the other questions that I love so much is, what is something you will always keep from your Mandingo heritage? Like I said, I cannot pick anything, like one of anything in life, but I love my Mandingo heritage so much. Like, I take such a pride in being a Mandingo woman. So honestly, I'm a very cultural woman as well. So the food, the language, especially the language, like I speak the language to my son because I want him to learn. I want him to know where his mom is from. And I literally, he's 4 years old. He's been to my country 3 times already. So that is something that I take very seriously and is very dear to my heart. And other things are like basically like the, you know, family dynamic, you know, like things like family values and all that stuff are like very dear to me for that reason. So that is definitely something that I'm always going to like take with me. I always like to put a little bit of like what is this, a highlighter on my nose, because I don't know, I feel like it gives me like a really cute little nose. Yeah, like family values and all that stuff are very dear to me because of my Mandingo heritage. What else? It was a good question. You seem to balance between work and family. Any advice for your young entrepreneurs? Oh my God. This question is so deep that I don't know. I feel like, okay, first of all, as a woman, especially as a woman that takes her motherhood role very seriously, you always feel like you're not doing enough. Okay. So I feel like I always feel torn between work and family, which families is always going to be my priority. But I also feel like building a legacy for my son is very important. I don't want to be one of those women that was just here and now no longer is, right? I want him to see me a certain way. I want to show him certain things. I want to show him an example of a strong woman. This way he's attracted to strong women and he's not threatened by it, if that makes sense. So for that reason, I always work so hard. I'm always working. But my priorities are always my family. As a woman entrepreneur, we don't have the same leniency that men have, right? A man can go on a job for months at a time and then come back and he's seen as the provider, as this hardworking man, as this man that is taking care of his family. A woman does that, you're like abandoning your family. But deeper is that as a woman as well, you also have this guilt of always making sure you don't look like you're abandoning your family, not even in the eyes of other people, but even in your own eyes. Because you know, it's like, okay, like you're torn between your responsibility as an entrepreneur and also, or even a working woman, and also as your responsibilities as a mom, as a wife, as a sister, as, you know, a daughter, or whatever the case is. And where I find a balance is that I always make sure I also prioritize my family, right? I'm not gonna neglect my job or my responsibilities in my career, but I'm also not going to neglect my family. And it's very, very time consuming and it's exhausting to be torn between those two worlds, excuse me, because it's like you're always tired, okay? When you're working, and the times that you have to rest, you feel like you have to spend that with family, which I'm not gonna say like that because it has like a negative connotation to it. I don't feel like I have to spend time with my family. because I do enjoy spending time with my family. But at the same time, if we're being real, I could have been sleeping, but instead of sleeping, I'm playing with my son, or I'm taking him out to a park, or I'm doing all of these extra things that I'm doing with him. I do enjoy doing them, but at the same time, as a human being, you also do need the rest. I do multiple things, right? I do content creation, and I also do I have my business or whatever. So I try to like incorporate my son into my content creation sometimes when I feel like I need to work, but at the same time I also need to spend time with him. So a lot of time, like when I'm vlogging, I'm working, but I'm also spending time with him. And then whatever I'm doing with him, if it's interesting, I'll just vlog it. So that way I'm like killing two birds in one stone. So you kind of have to like really be creative and not be, I don't want to say selfish, because sometimes being selfish is good, but you have to be very considerate to like your family, and especially if you're married, to your partner as well, because this is your choice of career, right? You chose to be an entrepreneur. It's not an easy path. Whatever, I'm hoping they are supporting you in that path. So you kind of also have to be considerate, especially if you have a partner that likes to spend time with you. It's also important to make sure you're spending time with them, because you want to make sure you're keeping that magic alive. Because once you lose that, it's really hard to get it back, because like both of you will be comfortable in not being together in the other person's absence, and getting that back is it's very, very hard. Some people don't recover from it. So being intentional about spending quality time together, being intentional about prioritizing that part, because whatever success you're looking for in this life, you want to have success and happiness, and happiness comes with your loved one. At least for me, my happiness lies with my loved ones. Okay, so I don't want to lose my loved ones in the process of me trying to get to the top. So once you realize that, you also realize that you should not be neglecting them in that path. Does that make sense? So yeah, I guess as long as you remember that, you will find a way to make time for what matters to you. And if your family is one of those things that truly matter to you, you'll make time for it, and you'll find a way to balance it all out. The only thing about being an entrepreneur, you cannot be lazy. Okay, you cannot be lazy. Even if you don't have a family, even if you're a single person, you cannot be lazy and be an entrepreneur. So when you have a family on top of that, that just kind of like quadruple the you cannot be lazy emphasis. So yeah, I feel like people figure it out. As long as it matters to you, you will figure it out. I always joke about saying that I don't have a day off, which is not a joke. I genuinely don't have a day off, because I'm always doing something. So, and I love it. I talked a lot. I hope I said everything that I wanted to say. And yeah. See, I'm very interesting. Yeah, I should have gotten my hair done. I should have done my hair before I started this video, but this is the final look of my makeup. I feel like I'm getting better and better at this thing. Very soon, I'm going to be like your favorite makeup guru. Anyways, well, I hope after watching this video, you feel like you know me a little bit better and we're besties, okay? So if I missed anything or there's anything that you need clarification on, make sure you let me know in the comment section. Yeah, and also if there's any topics that you guys want me to talk about in particular, let me know. I'll definitely be making more sit-down videos this year. So, I need inspirations. And yeah, I hope you like the video, and if you're not subscribed to my channel, yes, make sure you subscribe to the channel and like the video, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.